My name is Richard Bushman. Have lived in New York for 29 years. I taught at Columbia University. My office was just across the street. I am on the executive committee of the Mormon Arts Center, which plans the festival. The Mormon Arts Festival is sort of a focal point where we try to bring together the discoveries that have been made about Mormon arts and present them to a larger group in a way that's lively and interesting. And we hope it'll bring people together to discuss, talk, and also understand and learn. So that's what we're up to. We don't lack art in our culture and among our people, but we lack knowledge of art. And what we're trying to do is to rediscover and display all that's gone on in cinema, in painting, in poetry, and music, and help Mormons to understand what they have inherited but are unaware is theirs. Most Mormon artists, so far as we can tell, are isolated from one another. They may have a few friends here and there, but especially young students coming up wanting to be an artist are unaware of who are the eminent Mormon composers or who are the great painters and sculptors. They'll know a few, a handful, but have no idea where they can turn for models of how to be an artist. There is a question about what is unique that Mormon artists bring. I don't think you can ever describe in advance what it will be, but we have such a rich theological tradition and such a rich history and such strong communities that I think it opens up ways of thinking about the world and about art that might not be available to other people. The Mormon Arts Festival was the outgrowth of sort of two lines of thought. At a certain point, after having helped develop Mormon Studies chairs in universities around the country, someone challenged me to think about what's the next step. So I was thrashing around and finally came to the thought that art was the next frontier. And the reason I knew that was possible, even though I had not been involved in art, was because of Glenn Nelson, who had for decades been managing a Mormon artist group that had put him in touch with artists over the world. So I saw that really what we needed to do was to magnify what Glenn had been doing. And of course, he was very pleased to join in, and he's been the creative genius that has really made this possible. This was an unusual year in the way we developed our art exhibit. Art is hard to bring into a festival because it's costly to get it here, to ship it, to insure it, and you need a lot of space. So this year, instead of gathering art from all over and trying to find a place large enough for it, we found one artist who has been largely unknown to church members, an Angolan artist named Hildebrando de Melo, and had him come to New York. And he had the unique capacity to create art in a flash. Within 1 week, he could paint enough to fill our little gallery downstairs. So instead of shipping the art, we shipped the artist and had this residency, and turned out just a gorgeous array of colors and motion and action that is just thrilling to behold. I think what is unique about our festival is that it brings focus on Mormon culture and the people who have been affected by Mormon culture and who are expressing it artistically. You can see a lot of gorgeous art in New York. It's fabulous to observe. But when Mormons see that, it's not really our art, our artists. And to see that we are part of this great artistic effort that has gone on all over the world through all time and space, that we have our part in it, that, I think, reaffirms who we are and helps us to understand ourselves better. Mormon art is significant in a number of ways. Mormons are always trying to find ways to express themselves. We're an expressive people. We have our testimony meetings where we search our hearts and try to speak out. Mormon art is a way of channeling that and embodying it so that it has some permanent status. And I think we're in a moment where we're trying to find new ways to reach out to the world. The old standard ways of telling the world about ourselves are faltering, but Mormon art is a fresh, new, energetic way. And I think it reaches a generation that is less attracted to sort of standard religious views. This is a way of refreshing our religious impulses. If I were inviting someone to come, ideally they would walk away saying, wow, Mormons are doing art. I'd never thought of Mormons that way. And they might say, I can see that they're wrestling with issues that are part of my existence too, and shedding a new perspective, a new light on them. I would hope that Mormon art in some way can contribute to sort of our understanding of our common humanity that anyone can appreciate. This is a moment when the word art and Mormon art has a peculiar resonance. We have never had to sell this idea of an arts festival. People recognize the importance of it. It's something that's in the air right now. And so I think our challenge is how to make the most of that, how to channel that and make something permanent and lasting. I think this was a very good start. That Carnegie Hall concert of piano music by Mormon composers was a revelation to me. Half those names I'd never heard of. Finally, there's shaping up in my mind the structure of our musical tradition. Who has performed, who has created. And I think if we could do that for all of our arts, we would be much better off and much more appreciative of what we have. I think Mormon music is not going to set itself apart from other music produced by non-Mormons, but it will have, I think it will be produced by people who are aware of their spiritual natures. And I don't know exactly what form it will take, but these are people who have been brought up in a community where you listen to the Spirit. It's what every Mormon child is taught. And one way or another, that's going to color and shape what we do as Mormon artists. Well, we've had a lot of music this time. It's been fun music. We've emphasized energy and sprightly spirit. And I think we all have been amazed at how entertaining Mormon music can be.